we've seen so far today at 9.8. So China's rolling. Brett McClure had a great score on the floor, a 9.6. Got the Romanians a little irritated, so they bumped up Marian Dragulescu to a 9.7 after the protest.
This is the kind of meet that will get Brett psyched for the next cycle. He's been extremely consistent for Team USA.
This routine really moves a lot of different elements. One skill right after another. These two together bring him the biggest bonus points. Release right here. Brett was good enough to make that Olympic team. He, at different times, placed in the top 5 at national competitions with everybody going. But he just didn't have routines like that when it really mattered. He's a guy that can be there, though. I'll tell you, he's got all the goods. He's physically very, very quick, very strong. Here's that major combination we talked about. This is a giant with a half turn. You combine that with this skill right here, giant double back. Gives him 5/10. Those two skills right there.
We saw a ton of those skills in Sydney at the Olympic Games. Very popular on the P-bars.
That skill is an E-rated skill, even in the next code of points. One of the most difficult in gymnastics.
9.55 for Brett McClure. Back to Syracuse after this. We're back in Syracuse at the On Center with the Pontiac International Team Championships, 5th rotation. And again, we had the pommel horse destructed earlier by David Henderson of the American team. And after it was put back together again, the pommel horse was taken out of the standings. The Americans will go last. The bottom line is, playing with the numbers right now, the United States has a lead to think about. China in 2nd, Romania in 3rd. And again, the United States knows that it's not its strongest rotation.
No, it's not, but this is unreal. Double back Sukahara.
That's the wave of the future.
And it's a future that I am so glad I am not a part of. It's just amazing to me when I see this vault done on the hard ground. So incredibly difficult. I pretty much till a couple of years ago, I could kind of close my eyes and go, yeah, I could have done that. But that right there, not only could I not have done it, I sure as heck wouldn't want to have.
All right, this is Mike Dutka of the United States. What's this team thinking right now? They know that if the numbers of the pommel are taken out, they're in good shape, but that's not a strong event for them. Not a great start there.
No, it still could happen, though. There's a lot that has to get done. Romania's got to let go of the bar a whole bunch of times.
Not like that.
But that right there hurts a lot, because he's very good on this event and can get a
that's
big number.
That's unfortunate, because the scores were escalating up until this point.
And as we often see, sometimes you make a little mistake, and then that gets compounded, and then that gets compounded, and before you know it, the whole thing's gone wrong.
I mean, Mike is a very dynamic worker on the parallel bars. One of the things, he kind of only has one speed. It's all out. And sometimes you just got to slow down a little bit. But watch this big dismount, double front. And a great landing. That's too bad, because that would have been a big number.
You know, Mike's career was a little bit up in the air after the Olympic trials, and he said, since reflecting upon those Olympic trials, that his body actually feels really good. He's prepared to go the distance. Another 4 years in the sport.
Supposed to go right back into the middle of the bars right there, and it's just his shoulders are too far outside of the bars, loses balance, and he was going to try to cover up, but it didn't work.
You know what it's like? It's like asking a college freshman what it's going to be like on graduation day in 4 years. How can you predict that? Lou Bin, 9.4 on the vault. Spectacular in the air, a little wild on landing. And Marian Dragulescu has had a fabulous day. 9.7, second highest score of the day, and then up near 9.6 twice, and then a 9.5. 2 more rotations for him to go.
And he once again, you know, he does crazy gymnastics. He'll do 3 major releases in this exercise, 2 of them in combination. This guy does not play it safe, ever. Here's his first one. Now he'll do the more conventional. This is a Kovacs. Very nicely done.
Fingertip control. And, you know, this is part of his appeal, taking a little risk. Audience loves this type of stuff.
Dismount right here. Just a small landing.
He's been the most consistent gymnast in the building so far.
Head of delegation told me about a year ago that this kid stinks of talent.
Maybe that just translated wrong.
Here's one of those release skills done in combination. Makes it more tricky, more difficult. But once again, you see that slight form break. The legs come apart. They'll take a 1/10 of a point on that.
But it's exciting. That's what gymnastics is all about. Great skills like that.
Maybe he just meant, I smell a winner here. 9.65 for Dragulescu. Back to the Americans on the parallel bars. Natalie. And the one thing when you listen to Jamie before, it seemed as though, you know, he wasn't going to sign his life over to gymnastics. And you wonder if you could pull off an Olympic dream and not do that, Tim.
No, I don't think that you can. But the thing about it, Jamie, he has some time. He's obviously very experienced and he's a great gymnast. He doesn't need to make that choice right now. But come a couple years before, whoa,
Save that one. He's a team player. He's a fighter.
That's amazing, Al. He bobbled his hands. I think he landed on top of his fingers.
Way to get it. Good shot. Way to put that hop in there.
He had like no swing down at all. Yeah, you see, he grabbed his hand there. And he landed with his fingers on top of the bar right here. Last skill before the dismount. That hurts, but more importantly, he doesn't have the normal swing down, and that makes it really scary.
And you know, if he keeps performing this way, it might help motivate him towards another 4 years. Who knows?
So he fights through the finish. Coaches love to see that sort of stuff, and gets a 9.525.
Yeah, I said it about him earlier. He's one of those kids that he makes it when you think, gosh, he's not going to. Great quality.
Orzata had a 9.675 on the rings, his best tally of the day. We're nearing the end, and remember, because of the pommel horse problem, the United States will all by itself send 5 gymnasts out to the pommel, and that will decide this competition after the Romanians and the Chinese are done.
And they've been grabbing the bar, which is very good for them. Here's another big release.
This guy has beautiful lines on this event.
Nice one-arm giant coming up right here. Does it in combination.
Raresh actually has a younger brother, Bogdan, who is on the junior national team right now, hoping to make the senior national team. He says he's more talented than he is.
Well, we'll have to see about that. Actually, he's moving up to the senior team, and Raresh told me that he thinks they'll be roommates.
He's hurting.
He's a bit of a comedian. Really nice guy. Beautiful piked Kovacs in the air. Most important thing, where is that bar? Find it, grab hold tight.
Big finish for the Romanians. 9.625 for Orzata, so that completes the 5th rotation. The Romanians are headed to the vault for the finale here in Syracuse.